On June 1st, 2019, Father George Smiga handed me the keys to the parish, shook my hand, and said, "Congratulations, Terry, the place is yours. You need a new roof." Throughout these several months, I always have people coming up to me saying, "Why is the roof project taking so long? My neighbor got a new roof and it only took them a few days." Well, just to be clear, we are actually replacing the entire roof structure. Not just the shingles, but the wood framing that holds the shingles up. The existing roof consists of individual 2x6 tongue and groove boards, much like a hardwood floor in your house, and they span from steel beam to steel beam. For various reasons, the wood has deteriorated over time and it just needs to be replaced. So several steps. First, the shingles and the roof felt have to come off. Then each board has to be removed, one board at a time. The workers have to be on the roof while they're doing this, so they can't just rip the whole thing off. They have to remove a dozen boards or so at a time and then bring up a dozen new boards to fill in the part removed so they can make their way up the roof gradually, one board at a time. Of course, through all of this, they have to keep the church dry, or at least try to keep it dry. So as they replace each area, it has to be covered by the end of each day, and sometimes quicker than that as the rain clouds gather. So this is really a tedious process that takes time and skill. But we have skilled professionals backed by the diocese and have employed the service of a project manager and architect who both happen to be parishioners here at St. Noel, and they have a vested interest in doing all things well. To quote Louis B. Mayer of MGM in the golden era of Hollywood, and my first pastor, Father Carlin at St. Charles in Parma, when you go about a project, do it big, do it right, give it class. Now in addition, if you take the roof structure off, the clear story windows, they got to come off too. So they were deteriorating as well, and it was just time to replace them. They need to be replaced in a similar manner, one window group at a time. And again, all while attempting to keep the church dry. But wait, there's more! The lighting in the church. What? Yes, the lights are connected to the underside of the roof structure, which is coming off, and they needed to be replaced as well. Our lighting was no longer up to code after 30 plus years, and they just don't make 300 watt incandescent light bulbs anymore. It was simply the time to change to LED, which we had begun already over the altar, and now the time is right while the roof is off. And after all of this is accomplished, only then will it be time to put the new shingles on. So you can all see why this was quite the project. It wasn't just replacing shingles, and if you happen to have been viewing the live streamed Mass at any point throughout this construction process, you might not even been able to tell that construction on the roof is necessarily going on. And that's the whole goal, that it will look just like it did before. It just simply hasn't been easy. So hopefully this little video might give you a better idea of what all has been going on in keeping God's house warm and dry. Father Terry, who's paying for all this? I'm glad you asked. So inevitably, we as a parish family will need to proceed with a capital campaign. In consultation with the diocese and with both our parish and finance councils, those final details are being decided as we speak. And I can't think of a better person to say it more. In the words of Chandler Bing, could there be a worse time to be doing all this? And we are all very aware just how difficult this may prove with all the uncertainty that remains with the pandemic at this time. But we were told by every inspector and expert within their field, you will not make it another winter if you don't act now. Which is why we had to just run with our respective contractors and secure their availability as they continue to work simultaneously with each other. That's roof, glass, lighting, and carpentry. In fact, we were told several times, we cannot believe you haven't had worse problems sooner. We have experienced some hiccups and unexpected issues, but that's to be understood with a construction job this big. In fact, if you've been to certain masses, especially after a downpour, you have experienced the Noah's Ark effect. There were some mornings when I thought the animals were going to start marching into the church 2 by 2. Now, while every member of our staff has stepped up and assisted when issues have arisen, for which I remain personally grateful, I think Mr. Andrzej Bienek, our maintenance man, perhaps gets the prize. Pews are constantly being rearranged and taken down in time for funerals, weddings, and weekend masses, all while accommodating the needs of the workers and their scaffolding. Not to mention all the sanitizing that needs to take place in between every celebration so that we can remain open and safe. This year, 2020, we celebrate our 40th anniversary since the founding of St. Noel Parish, our Ruby Jubilee, as our friends at Hallmark would officially state. Several gatherings were being planned throughout these many months to mark this joyful occasion in our parish history, but the pandemic, of course, has dictated otherwise. But we remain hopeful, and maybe that just means we celebrate on a grander scale next year, when we all turn 41 and are still fabulous.